Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 1. Højlund finally scored again today. Well, how you doing, John? Good evening.
Good evening, Ahmed.
It was a disappointing performance, in my opinion. Manchester United started threatening them after that red card. But before that red card, I did not see any threats. No threats from the boys. Manchester United is still struggling to achieve 40 points. Still struggling to achieve 40 points. Too bad. This season is something else.
It has been that kind of season, actually. Looking at the course of the first half, I think Bournemouth, came out more hungrier. Bournemouth, came out with this kind of aggression, knowing fully well that Manchester United will always want to try and play from the back. And, they match Manchester United in terms of the press, and were even more aggressive than, Manchester United in the course of the large chunk of the first half. And, during the course of the first half, I was just imagining that, is it that these lads don't actually learn, their lessons from, previous experiences with other teams? I think this was the same style of play Newcastle did against Manchester United in the Premier League. I think last week thereabout, if I'm not mistaken, where they, defeated Manchester United 4-1. They were much more sharper. They were much more aggressive in terms of the press. Outmuscled Manchester United. But I think after Manchester United conceded the first goal at the first half, that was when we began to see that, Onana was now trying to see how we can, shoot the ball inside and, stop, this style of play from the back and all. But towards the end of the first half as well, we can also say that, Manchester United,
sorry for interrupting. Must he even play from the back? If this stuff is not working, why not just go long? This thing is not working. Stop playing from the back. I don't know why they always try to play from the back and end up conceding goals. What nonsense is that?
Well, we may not really know the whole story, but I want to believe for the team to, want to try to play from the back. I feel that's what the coach has actually instructed them to do. But I think both as human beings and both as professionals, even when we see that things are not working, I think, we should be able to tweak one or two things a little. I was expecting that, maybe the Manchester United will actually change their tactics in the course of the first half. When they saw that, this playing from the back was not really working, they should have actually, started shooting long balls in. But it took them, or it took Bournemouth to score Manchester United, before they realized that this is not actually working and decided to, change style of play.
Just so, sir, what do you have to say about Højlund today? Yeah, he scored, but I just feel this might be his last season as Manchester United number 9.
Well, there are rumors that Atlanta are willing to have him back, even though it's just rumors. And I think Manchester United is trying to still use him to broker deals for Lookman, which I don't really see that really happening. But like I said, it's just rumors. Or in the case whereby they can't get Lookman, they get the Brazilian Ederson, the combative midfielder, for the team. But to be quite fair, I think Manchester United has also been, or Manchester United as a team has also been the reason why Højlund has not really been performing to a great extent this season. Yes, we might say he's low on confidence. We've said it several times. But I think even the players around him are not really helping his cause in trying to, feed him, in trying to, create good chances, wherein as a striker, he can actually, just come in and, finish the ball. So I won't really blame Højlund for his woes this season. You could see that, despite him, not really scoring, you could still see, we can still see a player in there, he's still hungry, he fights for the team, does whatever he feels he can do best, just for, the purpose of the team. But one can't really say, who knows? Should he even remain, come next season? If you have the right players around him, we could actually see a different Rasmus Højlund.
The commentator stated something. He said Manchester United have have they've scored over 40 goals in cup competitions, and they have scored only 38 goals in the league.
Plus Hoyland's goal 39.
Okay, plus Hoyland's goal now 39. So what do you think is the
Yes.
problem? It's now looking as if the Manchester United is just a cup team and not a league team. So how is Amorim supposed to, like, or how do these players transfer that? I don't know how I'm going to put it. How are they going to move this cup form to the league form, to the league rather? Because it's the same players, the same team, the same squad. Then why are you having more shots or more goals in cup tournaments than the league? Why?
Well, as we can only say from the little things we have observed as regards the Premier League in comparison to the European League, because of course we know the European League comprises of teams from various countries across Europe. So in terms of the Premier League, we've always known the Premier League to be, especially this season, we've seen whereby smaller team upsets even bigger ones, and we've seen where teams actually irrespective of your status as a
Or do you
football
think they've
club,
given
be
up
it
on the league now that they know that they are not going to be relegated?
not, I won't say that really. I just felt Manchester United have actually struggled with the intensity of the Premier League oppositions. Sometimes they may not really have that intensity in terms of the European competition and all. Mind you, let's not forget, Manchester United remain unbeaten in Europe, but have already lost 15 times and avoided being defeated the 16th time in the Premier League this afternoon. So I feel they're actually finding it difficult to grasp with this strong and aggressive intensity that the Premier League, other Premier League teams have to offer. Like we've seen in some matches, I think we've come to understand that in this season, should Manchester United is a pressing team, and should the opposition team be a team that presses more aggressively than Manchester United, they will always struggle. And we also saw in the course of this game this afternoon that they were having difficulties, even playing, this quick flowing football. Not until Evan Nielsen actually got the red card, and that's when we began to see players like Luke Shaw even going forward. Because as far as I'm concerned, Luke Shaw looked a bit rusty today,
Yeah,
but
he's just coming back.
after yes, he looked rusty because there are sometimes you could not really control the ball. There are sometimes you could not even get out of tight situations, and we've always known Luke Shaw to be a fast, strong player that can actually hurt any opposition when he's in his strides and all. So I feel Manchester United have just failed to struggle with the intensity of other Premier League oppositions in the course of this season, and
Okay,
that has also
okay,
ahead to affect Italy.
okay. Final question before we go: which player impressed you the most? Manchester United player.
Well, I say it's a bit difficult, to actually,
Because they were all poor, right?
yes, it's a bit difficult. Though if I want to actually, maybe just praise a Manchester United player, I think I'll praise Alejandro Garnacho. I think we are beginning to see that he's beginning to he's beginning to grow, and he's beginning to mature in terms of his style of play. All those we've seen less of wasteful chances, and see where once he gets into the 18 yard, rather than shooting to score goals when he sees that the spaces are tight or there are no available spaces, you see him actually squaring balls. And if you look at the course of his game this afternoon, I think his passes in the 80-yard box were actually good. Just like I think one of the goals they scored, either if I'm not mistaken, is in the Europa League now, whereby in terms of trying to square the ball to his teammate, he actually got it spot on, and the team eventually scored. I think he also did that today, but kudos to the Bournemouth team this afternoon. Despite being a man down, that it didn't actually dent their confidence. They put their bodies on the line. Of course, had they not done that, maybe the score would have been a little bit different. Looking at Mason Mount's miss as well as several misses from other Manchester United players.
All right, John. Thank you very much for joining me, John. I'll see you next time.
All right, thank you. Bye.